Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. It is indeed our privilege to come to you tonight with another program. C'est pour nous encore un plaisir et pour nous retrouver nous encore sur plateau Preach the Word Ministry. Well, tonight is a very special night. It's a Sabbath just got away from us, but we are here with another program. My name is Lexius Branny, and tonight I'm with two very special individual. We have with us tonight, Steph. Steph is no stranger to Facebook. To the social medias. To the Haitian community, and we have Eric, Dr. Eric. Doctor.
Not the doctor.
Dr. Eric, doctorate loading. You have a doctorate loading, right? Well, we, you
Soon
know,
come back, graduates.
we are very delighted to be with you all. C'est pour nous encore toujours un plaisir pour nous capables de venir comme jeunes, pas bon ici, pour présenter ça qui vient pour avec the Haitian talk, the community conversation. Well, tonight this is what this is about. We're going to be talking about what would make the Haitian community strong. The Haitian Christian community strong. So we're gonna be talking about that tonight. But before we get into that, I would like to say to have Steph and Eric just to say a word of hello to the Facebook community and YouTube and so on and so forth. Right? Eric, what's your word of hello this evening for the people?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you guys tonight. I think it's a very exciting topic that we're going to be discussing tonight in regards to the Haitian community. There's a lot, even here abroad and also back home in Haiti, to discuss in regards to the community. How can we help? What the strategies are? What is the micro
Hmm.
goals right now? The macro level goals also. I think those are some stuff that should be discussed to understand, what can we do even right now as individuals to allow the community to grow. And I think growth always start with one person. I think one person have an initiative and want to have a willingness. I think a lot could be done. So
Yes.
this is my goal today. That one person will start a revolution. I don't know who's going to be tonight. It might be
Yes,
it
sir.
might be Lex. It might be Steph. I don't know somebody.
Well, we just this is just talk. We're talking, Then we don't believe only in talk. We believe also in actions, right? What's Steph?
In
What
action,
what,
yeah.
what do you say? What's your introductory, words for the people this evening? Yes, for sure. Hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, I like that. I really like that. Mwen eme sa an pil. Well, to be the head, not the tail, right?
The
Pour
tail.
nous, pour nous, pour nous,
Hmm.
pour nous, c'est parce que pour nous tourner encore côté nous t'es déjà comme des moun qui commençaient en pile gros causé, qui commençaient qui liberté, qui bail premier noir qui arrivé libre. We are the first, the first black, freed black in the world. So those are very important things, right? Well, before we get to that, let's take a moment now to share. Let's find them Haitians where they are. Steph, I know you know where they are. So Let's nous connaît côté mon yo branché, ba me essayer nan ti bras di film gen là. Ou même cap, for those of you listening, if you this is a very important conversation we're gonna have tonight. If you want to be a part of it, just take a moment, to comment, to share, and to just share what you have in mind. Also, if you know somebody's going to be could be a great asset to this conversation, just go ahead on and share. Don't be
Share.
shy.
Yep.
You can share this live with anybody, family, friends, just anybody who would want to say something as it relates to the Haitian community, right? So this is what we're doing here. We're taking our time to share with, just make sure we don't share twice. And I know Steph, community SDA community was your first choice, so I would not. Yeah. We got to target the Haitians where they are. So well, yon bay qui très important. Premièrement, pour nous, let's be real. Let's put this, let's have this disclaimer. Our conversation tonight is going to be very, very positive, with positive, spirit. So we want to share, we want to digest, we want to exhaust some of the options that can be what would make what would make the Haitian community strong. And I love what you mentioned, Steph. I love you mentioned that we need to go back to leadership. When we say leadership, I mean be leadership of the world again, especially the world of the black community. So journée jodi a nan et qui ça nous penser comme des jeunes, qui ça nous penser qui ka peut-être what's one thing that would if you were given a task to bring change to the Haitian community, where would you start? Eric, where would you start?
Start. I think the first thing is I think about Josiah in a sense, right? When he was trying to bring back his nation back to God, right, and to heal to heal his land. And one of the first thing that he did was trying to instruct the people of the way of God. And then by doing that is he bringing back the oracles of God. I know this is a far-fetched idea concept in a sense, but I think in a way one of the first things will have to happen is to give people a sense of trusting in God. I think what happened is in the Haitian community, for me, what I'm noticing, people speak of God. I don't think they trust in God. I think they believe in God as a superficial person that could just, of course, do things for them like a genie, but I don't think they have a real trust in God. I think that would be one of the first things, just to help. I mean, I know this is a big thing, because there's so many religious movement going on in the country, abroad in the United States, because I was having this conversation even this week with my mom, and she was talking about how why is it that Haiti is still struggling the way it's struggling, and then there's so much people in Haiti that's praying, and she's like, I know people that are dedicating their life to praying for Haiti, but the country is still suffering massively. And then I just thought about it. It's we have to understand it's not only that although there might be some people that be praying, truly praying for the healing of the nation, but you have to understand God working in regards to free will. So if the mass are not following the way of God, God have to give them the desire of their heart and allow Satan to rule them, pretty much, But God still can act in on an individual basis to different situation in different people's lives. I think one of the things I feel like that will have to happen is to make the people understand the gravity of when a nation doesn't follow God.
Okay.
That would be first and foremost. I think that's probably the best way to put it. Like when a nation doesn't know God versus when a nation know God. To understand, well, if you really want transformation in this country, you must know God first. And then I feel like that would be the first thing, first and foremost.
Well. That would be great. That would be a big task.
Yeah, it's a big task. That's what I'm saying.
So one thing we're trying to do tonight, as my camera is doing a little gymnastics here. Well, one thing we want to, you know, I don't mind this camera, man. You know, you gotta, just like when a child is, showing a tantrum, sometimes you have to, ignore, right, 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 right. Well, well, it's a big
Oh yeah,
task
big
to look
task.
at this thing
Hmm.
as a whole. I was thinking about that, but let's tonight to really have the maximum benefit of this conversation. Let's focus on the Haitian community and the diaspora, like
Okay, the diaspora.
like the Christian community, right? So
Hmm.
and you said you would start with spirituality, right?
Hmm.
So meaning that
But even that though, it's a blur line. You know, it's tricky because you could say you start with spirituality, then there's so much people that's that's doing that. I do understand whatever things you plan out, there have to be a level of spirituality to it, so you can have the power from above to
right.
the divine help to assist you with it. But I do think there must be like a strategic um like a strategic goal and like couple with the spirituality. So you will have the strategic goal as far as like the mechanism, and then you have the spirituality as far as the force
Mm-hmm.
that will allow the mechanism to get its end goal. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's just one or the other. You know, just okay, all spirit. Because like I said, there's a lot of people in here that's truly praying for the country, for the healing of the country, both in
Yes.
the diaspora and in Haiti. And we still see there's no change. There's currently no. It looked as if there would be no change, but you never know.
Yeah. Well, it's Steph. What do you say to that? Mm. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah, used to be.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great segue to to look at this conversation as you know the same Haitian Haïtien qui Haïti yo, c'est gens vivent Haïti c'est pas même gens vivent ici. OK. So ça nous
Yeah,
ouais,
that's the
ça
hardest thing to get.
yeah, ça nous est Haïti actuellement là, nous on pays qui gagne en pile et opportunité, qui gagne en pile potentialité, qui gagne jeune ou qui gagne l'école, qui gagne souci en pile pour éducation. Mais when it comes to the United States, right? When it comes to the community which we are focusing on tonight, right? We see we have all these things. But then we live in a very, like you said, a very isolated, you know, community, a very isolated system, right? Which as a community, I've seen some of like the Hispanic community, they survive in the situation, right? But I think the problem with really is like we don't recognize we need to have a place where we start to be united again. We have to start somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, Steph, I don't know what it is. I think it's something. I don't know if it's the culture, the way we use language. I don't know if it's the way it works. I don't know, for some reason, des Haïtiens qui dans même chambre là, et puis yon bagay dit là, et puis ça cause yon désunion. Two Haitians could be like, having good relationships, right? But sometimes something is always said in some kind of way. So I don't know if it's the language that's been used against us because it's too strong, if it's the Creole language, or if it's something about our identity. But tonight we really want to, kind of shift the gear towards, what some of the things we can do as a community. What some of the things we can look at to make the Haitian Christian community stronger, not like it is in Haiti, right? So you see in Haiti, right? People don't have a sense of identity. Pas ganyen moun yo envisionné, yo jam réalisé. So in this country, let's look at it in this country here, right? We have all the resources. Now it's a question: how do we go by, cultivate the resources in this country? It's not a matter of the resources not even or not available at all. In Haiti, you're pas disponible. But ici, you're disponible. C'est une question de comment pour nous cultiver et comment pour nous cultiver ressources ça.
I think one of the things we need to understand is like understand the country we live in and understanding the laws governing the country we're currently living in, and understanding the benefit that those countries give us, and how can we come together as a community to benefit from those benefits, or from those. Let me give you a perfect example, right? I know Haitians, they're very hard workers, right? They work hard. They work 2-3 jobs. Some of them are very like business minded, and then they do well in construction related fields. There's a lot of Haitians that work in construction, right? You see the Hispanics, they work in constructions also, but you see like they've moved so much further along in the construction field that was like where it became like a second nature. Like in the country, if you want some good construction work to be done, most persons say, well, I need to find me a Hispanic person so I can find me good cheap labor and good quality labor. And I think some of these things could be translated back to the Haitian community if we understood as a community, how do we go about something simple as, okay, how do we find government contracts? How do we go after those money in this country and take those money and invest it back into our own community, right? And then invest it back into our own children, into our own family. And I think that's one of the advantages, as you were saying, with the family structure component, is like, you'll see like the Middle Eastern or even the Jews or those other families, even the Hispanics, they'll come like, you see they'll get like a 2-bedroom apartment, and like 10 of them will stay in an apartment, and they'll stay in an apartment, save their money for like 5, 10, 15 years to go start a business, to go get that house, to go do all these things. And then I think sometimes, like you were saying, Lex, it might be a language thing. No, Haitians, like, they carry their pride like right in the tip of like in the tip of their hand or in the tip of their lips, man. You say one bad word or they don't like the sound of it, it's chaos. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like you walking on eggshell dealing with the person, because they're so overly sensitive, like overly emotionally sensitive, and then they're overly emotionally unstable. They don't know how to control their emotion. They don't know how to control their thinking. It's like everything's so irrationalized. So I think I think part of it has to do with lack of education, but I think now for the community to, and I know I'm saying a lot, I think for the community to move forward, I think they need to have more conversation around that topic, and then how do you handle conflict, and how do you deal with people that view things differently than you? Because even us as second generation Haitian that grew up in America, our understanding of the world is completely different from somebody that grew up in Haiti, that came in Haiti to this country in the late 30s or late 20s, because our upbringing is so much different, and the way we had to maneuver around this country is so much different from someone that probably just came from Haiti right now, and they just seeing like a different side of the world. And then when they come here, they're thinking like everything is like get easy, go, and then you sitting there like, hey, no, man, like you gotta be, you need to be. You need to be educated in what you think you're gonna go out there and do. It's not as easy as you make it. You gotta be coherent. Like,
right.
Don't think a job where is gonna hire you just because you say you want to work. Nah, that's fine, but you gotta know what you want to be doing. So I think,
yeah. Well, Eric, you mentioned something. I apologize. You mentioned something about the pride, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now, Steph, as Haitians, right, the pride we know. We know where the pride comes from, right? We know where it's come. So we cannot, à nous pas jeter, à nous pas courir jeter, right, right, right? À nous pas courir jeter, à nous battre pour nous utiliser de façon qui est raffinée. À nous battre pour nous utiliser, pour nous bien utiliser. Parce que pride là, gon place pour lui. So Steph, qu'est-ce qu'on pense when it comes to the Haitian pride? Nous devons jeter? Should we just throw it away? Or we just, know how to use it? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Nothing.
mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Steph. Yeah. As you were talking, I was taking notes. If you see my put my head down a little bit. So the pride thing. Let's kind of go. Let's take it a little bit deeper, right? The pride stuff. As Steph, as you develop pride in a spiritual sense, can pride can be wrong. It depends on how you use it. You can, if let's say for your if you want to use pride for to show that you're proud of something that you accomplish, it does not come in contradiction with God. It does not attack the character of God. If it's within
Mm-hmm.
God's plan, it's all right, right? So I
Yeah.
believe, as we speak in the pride conversation, I believe Haitians pas rete avec moun, pas habitué comme ça rete avec moun. So
That's true.
the Haitians, we are in the process of we are adjusting. Nous nan ajustement. Nous an ajustement pour nous. We are adjusting. This is my note, right? Haitians are adjusting to servitude. Sur la servitude. C'est nous adjust comme si son bail nous pas habitué avec, nous gagner propre affaire, nous pour payer nous. Vous comprenez? C'est tout simplement nous pour que jamais qu'à identifier vraiment, nous pour que jamais qu'à get nous pour qu'à get the hands on how to run this country to our taste, to the way that we want it. So come to a different country, right? So we come with that pride. That we, barita avec moun, like, c'est vin travail boy ici à là, c'est participation vin bay, comme si, ou toujours gen sens ça dans haïtien, comme si qui pas gen sens avec moun. Si ou dit haïtien bay là, ça même, il est prêt pour le parler, wow. He doesn't care who you are. That's something that is really within ourselves. Nous pas gen bien que nous ka haïtien reta moun, haïtien il pas dans sang nous. C'est l'union a fait côté nous sorti ba n'a parlé de affaire 1804 là, c'est gros causé. Li transformer la vie nous. Jusqu'à présent je on connaît les moun gen potentialité et puis moun n'a fait un bagay qui pas match up with his potential. Ça ka vin on ti jan confiscate the person's mind, fait moun na penser yon façon comme si qui captivant, moun na captivé par la misère, moun na captivé par captivé par par comme si m'ka dit misère. OK, moun na captivé par misère. So c'est haïtien parce que c'est dans rubrique ça nous. Yeah. Nous stuck in clinic. We call this stuck. We say what the stuck point. We stuck between our pride and and living in a developed country. So we're stuck there. Like nous coller là, man. Nous coller là. Qui ça pour nous faire? I don't know. I don't know as of now, right? Mm-hmm. 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 Ah, the charge. The charge. It's yeah, it's nothing.
Reincomes nothing.
The thing that's conflicting, Steph, the thing that conflicting between I know the people of Israel, they've done the same thing, but I think Haitians today we're doing to a very extreme, the extreme of voodooism. Uh,
Yeah.
so the yeah, that's an extreme. I talked about it before, you know. Yeah, when Eric mentioned spirituality, that's where I was going, but I didn't want to broaden that thing. I was gonna go to that voodoo stuff because it really plays a role. I was listening to a guy, one of the Freemason, Haitian Freemason, one of the guys who think they know stuff. Michel t'a parlé, dit, oh, il gen contact gros, il gen contact avec gros esprit. Il te dit, Donald Trump, c'est next ça, c'est menti. Michel te dit, Michel dit comme
Ah,
ça,
t'as pas dit
t'as pas joué. Parfois, monsieur dit comme ça, une
folie.
raison qui fait Haïti pas capable de ban zombie, gon zombie parce que chaque monde après
Ouais.
les propres zombies par eux et puis yo vinn yo servi genre de esprit ça qu'on a esprit qu'on a esprit yo gourmet. Si par exemple esprit si esprit pam nan là il la bam servi soit c'est un genre territoire là puis gon l'autre qui prend gon l'autre esprit faut ba service par là. OK, on nous dit qu'on ça parce que mais comment t'avais les gens t'a font vaudou sur l'autre monde. Le monde nan font vaudou puis retourner puis taper pour protéger tête li. Des esprits ça vient à fight. Oui, this is real talk. Des esprits ça vient en combat. On comprend? So, oui, oui, alors, yo un combat puis job, yo fait job à yo. Parce que Jean yo expliqué monde mystique là, c'est que yo m'entendez un peu on sait de monde qui parler monde mystique là, Jean expliqué, c'est que yo expliqué dans ce sens c'est un service à bail yo gagne un pouvoir, yo a vendre pouvoir. C'est ça, et ça yo pas et ça pour nous dire. Son pouvoir au gain, y a vendre li. Yeah. Mon a dit qu'on t'a pendant d'amis dit qu'on ça bizango ba c'est là alors nous pas vinn ba sujet ça là non. Bizango ba ça, il dit c'est un bagay li gen moun nan vinn côté, li gagne pouvoir puis li ba service là. Tout simplement ça. So imagine tout le monde ça ba service à Haïti. So spirituellement Haïti nan yon tourné qui vraiment pas bien que grand pile monde qui prier mais grand pile monde qui servi
Yep.
vieux qui
Yep.
servi chap tout.
That you know of. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mm. Mhm. Oh yeah. Mm. Mhm. Mm. Mhm. 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 Mm. Mhm. 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 Yeah. Mhm. 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 Mhm.
Non, haïtien, c'est avec wash, bâton pour haïtien, notre tête.
Oui, très bien, très bien.
Et
Ouais,
yo
ouais,
dit,
ouais, ouais. You see,
can you do the democracy stuff, man? Notre tête pour
yeah.
yo.
But you can. Mhm. 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 Moi, affaire, gomba you this stuff. Something you said that's very interesting, right? For nous parler créole dans bail ça, c'est bail ça va. Les gars américains ils propose venir entrer, venir faire, fourrer nez dans bail ça là et puis so, ouais. Gomba you dit là qui est très 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 important et Steph, je pense chaque monde dans une communauté a un devoir. Chaque monde a un devoir
Mhm.
par every member of the community has a work to
Duty.
do, right? Has a duty. Okay? So,
Mhm.
assez souvent, moi dans tout moi pas tout côté m'a passé, pas tout ça moi ça j'aime bam. Moi souvent les on bail pas marcher pour haïtien, il fait critique.
Yeah.
OK? Mais c'est je pense que c'est un gros bail nous manquer dans la communauté. Son bail tout côté ouais qui changement c'est comme ça le fait et comment le fait c'est pas question de critique c'est pas question de dire comme ça leader qui là il pas fait rien comprendre parce que faut évaluer ba yo très bien alors nous pas parler spécifique dans série de bagages pour comprendre so faut évaluer ba yo bien leader qui en place pas là pour faire avancer vision parce que vision pas ou pas vision leader.
Mhm.
OK? OK? So, en tant qu'Haïtien, mais ça pour nous faire, là, on a fait macro approach to changement. Nous devons tout simplement, place leader qui est en place qu'on est là, tout simplement, ils ont un rôle à jouer dans deux matchs, mais deux matchs à commencer avec vous-même qui a une vision. Par exemple, moi, puis le si tu dans le monde religieux, Dans le monde religieux, qui a regardé, il y a plus changement qu'a fait communauté à part ensemble, mais ils commencé mal. Ils voulaient à ce que c'est monde qui en place leader qui en place pour qui initier un bagay. That's not the way it works. It doesn't work like that. You have to start it, then you invite, you bring together the leaders and bring to the table what you have. Do your research. This is the problem. This is what I think we should do. And I'm going to need you guys to do this. Simple as that. So because we're not doing it this way, so we get stuck. And the wrong approach to good visions. Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, we do. Yeah, we definitely need. And the only problem that can also come with that is, c'est le l'idée a pas les joindre nous because idée a pas commencé. C'est pas lui qui a idée. And that's expected. It's expected, right? That's resistance, right? On peut toujours trouver des résistances, mais tout simplement, lorsqu'il y a un groupe de monde, ça qu'on pas commencer avec un seul nègre ou pas seulement checker l'autre un seul nègre, ou checker monde parce qu'ils ont la même idée ensemble avec eux. Si nous faisons ça dans la communauté, on va avancer en pile. For example, me, I have a lot of vision, but I'm a visionary. I'm not an initiator. But you have to know who you are. Because I'm a visionary, so I can you name it. You just come up with a conversation. Now, okay, what can we do in this situation, that situation? I can say, okay, I think this can be done because I have a lot of things in my mind. But when it comes to initiate, I'm not a guy. So what I would do if I was to work something, I'm gonna get with people who really know how to initiate stuff. So this is the way we should get it done. But oftentimes the barrier is that people Haitians gon façon yo haïtien pareil par eux parce que nous garder chaque comme si nous gon chip chaque haïtien pense que tout haïtien pas pas préglant sérieux. Si par exemple vous montez sur Facebook là font bagay, me dit quête m'boko rien là non, m'a regarder toujours. Parce que this is first impression is very important, right? If that's the first impression, moi n'a pas toujours attaquer bagay là avec un esprit de critique. Haïtien pas quoi dans haïtien. I try, and I'm struggling with that to believe in Haitians. This is
boy. Lex, you have a big fight ahead of you.
Yeah, I mean, I got it. So what I mean is that it starts with you guys.
Bro. I'm sorry,
It starts with you. It starts with you and Steph and Eric, you too. But what I mean is that to trust in you. I'm not saying to trust the whole. Of course not. The people I'm in contact with. Yeah, I'm agree much. So
I'm
So,
agree with
so,
that moment.
so, m'pense for nous commencer là, just trust the person. So, let nous pas trust moun, peut-être moun pas nous vin trust people in the outside. So, like, c'est ça qui vient faire nous the servitude. So, the people of Israel, because they didn't trust in God, they didn't have relationship with God. Even after they crossed the Red Sea, they wanted to go back to Egypt, right?
Hmm.
Right? Because they don't trust in Moses. They don't trust in the people of Israel. Because c'est ça regarde chaque jour Israël c'est people Israël c'est esclave c'est travail dur you pas trust in their own people. So I think Haitian we have the same problem. We need to come to the table to say, hey, I'm seeing this young. I'm seeing I had a show about money. I have a conversation about money. I have a whole bunch of young guys, and they about wealth. They came on here. They have businesses right in South Florida. Haitians. Like ils ont été grandis ici. They have, but do we believe in these guys? I don't think we do. So as a result, they are investing for the American community because we don't believe in them. I want to be that kind of leader. As soon as I see the potential, I just put some fire on it. That's where I want to be. Yeah. Hmm.
Sure.
Hmm. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
One thing I wanted you guys to ask is like how do you think 'cause I think one of the issues that we keep speaking about, I think one of the issue I think I see is that we could agree yes we could agree to this, I think for the most part, is that I Haitians don't trust other Haitians,
Hmm. We agree on
right?
that. We agree on that.
How do we help the Haitian community to trust each other in business, in church, in community? How do we go about? I think that's probably like after the spirituality is to be able to see each other as other human beings and being able to be willing to initiate one another, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because once you have the spirituality thing spoken about, then there must be a willingness to engage with one another, right?
Hmm.
Then how do we go to establish that engagement with one another in a productive way?
Well, mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Ah. Upikem. Upikem, Steph. Upikem.
Va faire Michel, pas faire de glace, ah.
Upikem na cote. Ok, Steph. Yeah, très bien, très bien, très bien, très bien. Nous besoin de tête chargée, de tête chargée. Et pas parce que nous pas gain, nous avons plus de potentialité, like you said, Steph, right? Nous pas, like nous tout agree, right? Nous pas croyons, pas croyons dans l'autre. Haïtien, pas croyons haïtien. Et puis, son bail qui est très simple. Léo, c'est simple, Eric, to answer your question, right? To answer your question, how do we,
Yeah.
how do we instill, right? Trust, right? It's
Yeah.
just conversation, simple conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's conversation. So just, education, I should say education is gonna drive out the ignorance, right? We need to educate, have a lot of talk, like sit down and so do not be afraid to have town halls. Like, let's have a community, let's have a place, where we know if something goes wrong, where we can go to that place and we talk, we exchange. Okay, something about the youth. We need to have that kind of thing where we go. We have. I think the Hispanic people, they have great leaders, right? As a group who is as one of the I would say marginalized, but one of the minority groups. They're very organized. I think we need to just educate the people. We need to sit down and talk and learn from one another, right? Because Haïtien gan pile bagay yo ka fè. Bagay nou gen Haïtien nan nou, c'est bagay qui ka fè, c'est bagay qui fait moun riche, qui fait tout l'autre pays riche. We are resilient, nous travail dur, c'est bagay qui fait moun riche. Nous gon ban go ba Eric qui bay qui fait moun riche nou. Si seulement nous besoin connaître comment pour nous cultiver. We need to know how to cultivate what we have. Haitians pas ennemi haïtien. Là où m'pa ka wè le deux nèg ou bien deux filles yon ti mésentente bagay et puis yo fait bel avenir tout non gros causé. M'pense haïtien l'autre moyen l'autre bail haïtien besoin c'est une approche clinique. OK? Et puis approche clinique. Les par exemple on bagay passe entre nous, faut qu'a gen un point côté pour nous que nous chita pour nous parler. OK, m'te fait ceci, m'te fait cela, on nous garder côté problème nan et vraiment, et puis on attaque problème nan et puis nous avancer comme frères pour nous ka passer dans fond bagay in common, right? When you work for something in common, you don't let the distractions. You have to look out for distractions. And as of right now, I see the Haitian community is very distracted by a lot of stuff. So, and because of that, the enemy used those distractions, and he uses, people's sensitivity too. Some of the leaders' sensitivity. Because nèg yo figan pile fierté bah nèg yo connaît ça bah yo mérité parce qu'on est haïtien pas tellement et quand joindre pile gloire toute gloire yo joindre c'est dans mais pas haïtien pareil pas yo so les haïtiens pareil pas la ta jomba qui pas venir comme une gloire c'est gros causé. Yo, I've been to places where people see my potential, like other nations. Like I've worked with them, so I'm not really in a place where I really need only Haitians to really affirm who I am.
Yeah.
So that's a place we need to start with everyone. You are important as a Haitian individual. Your contribution is very important to this community. OK? Si nous avons fait éducation comme ça à chaque moment, ben là, nous avons une communauté qui est très, 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 très fort. L'union fait la force là, parce que c'est un gros zo collé dans gauche chaque haïtien hier.
Hmm.
Parce que l'union fait la force son gros zo. Comme tu dis déjà dans bail qui passe yo, nous fait c'est l'union fait la force à lui même qui bail nos victoires, nous prend qu'on a qui croché dans l'histoire qui pas jamais sorti dans l'histoire. C'est ben ça qui ban nous li, mais comment pour nous tourner back là-dedans? It's almost like we're unable to go back there. Why? It's because this generation we're not using pride in the right way, et nous pas trust haïtien pareil par nous. Et puis tout, nous pas comment pour nous manœuvrer avec opportunité. L'autre pays ban opportunité, but they do not dictate your growth. They do not dictate your your potential, your explosion as a person. They give you opportunity, right? So I would, as a young man, I would wish I could use my potential, what I learned, the opportunity that I gain from other countries to for my country or for my community. But sometimes the community, they make it very hard. They don't appreciate. They don't show the appreciation, right? It's okay to appreciate somebody. You get what I'm saying? So we have a lot of young Haitians right now. They just go into different community. The American community, the African American community, the white community, the Hispanic community, right? It's because we don't know how to cultivate. We nous font là non problème là. That's it. Mhm. 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 Mm. Mm.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm. 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 Yes. Yeah. Well, that's. I think this is a very good conversation, y'all. And we need, as Steph said, we need to, don't think what we're doing here. Don't think, it. Trois moun ka changé bagay yo. Quatre moun ka changé bagay yo. So on utiliser. Let's use what we have. Let's use our voice, appropriately, and just talk about what's constructive, and you know just trying to reconcile, and then the conscience of the Haitian people. We're not Haitians pas ennemi haïtien. Bagay sa m'pa ka kompren bagay sa. Moun yo pa jam kompren bagay sa. Haïtien pas ennemi haïtien. Si ennemi haïtien, see Jesus said to Peter, right? Get thee behind me, Satan, right? The Satan and you.
Hmm.
That was his pick. That was his that was Jesus's number one pick.
Yep.
So that was his number one pick. So get thee behind me, Satan, right? So basically, we have to recognize that sometimes this is not my brother. Because I don't by haïtien depuis ouais haïtien pas roi c'est la mort. Depuis haïtien roi comme yon traite. Man, you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. So mentalities are we need to change them to be a strong community. This new generation, we need to see things in a different way. Let's make your voice known. Let's make your voice known. So another thing, I think we're gonna wrap up here, Steph. I think we need to recognize some of the young potentials in terms of like business, in terms of you know, people qui fait gros cob dans la communauté, right? Besoin rassembler yo, connaît côté yo, ça gagne gros business, c'est la bagaille pour nous connaître qui ça yo ka fait, comment ka aider, qui ça yo a pensé. Parce que y a qui fort de yo là. Y a fort de yo là qui ka mettre communauté là regarder pour n'a gagne l'hôpital, pour n'a gagne c'est là pas seulement Steph te dit ça tout à l'heure. Parfois service nous dans des restaurants les services pas normal me songe me d'aller non l'aime qu'on manger on d'aller acheter un pâté dans un restaurant men haïtien nèg la dit men me dit là manqué cuite papa me dit men ou nous ka font quitter là pour 5 minutes encore mais monsieur dit mais farine li depuis le chaud bon monsieur dit depuis chaud mangeable ça le dit quête yo vous connaissez that was my last day to that bakery. So yeah, but he doesn't really care. He's not a businessman. He's just doing it. So my point is, parfois gon déclaration qui dit comme ça. Parfois mal pour puis l'existence c'est parce que moun qui gagne bon cœur yo. The good men don't speak. Gon c'est des moun qui gagne good potential qui fait bon business dans la communauté yo pas agir. C'est ça que ouais c'est les nous pas dire moun qui fait business qu'on a médiocre dans médiocrité c'est ça que fait ouais c'est des monde qui pas vraiment connaît business là c'est eux même qui fait business ça que n'a font bonne coup comme ça so nous besoin recueillir moun ça yo connaît côté yo pour nous capable encourager say hey what about your community man I see you doing this, you doing that. Even you having this, what assisted living community. All right. I see that. You're not. Ou pas faire comme si pour Haïtien pas venir, mais so what about community? What about the Haitian community? Have you thought about the Haitian community? So like them, parce que nous avons fait un gros changement dans ce sens ça. Quand tu parles ça là, quand tu parles ça petit, c'est small talk, but it's a big stuff. Yeah, it's a big stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm. Mm-hmm. 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 Well, it's great. It's great. So we don't necessarily have to do it to the standard of the Haitian people. We can do it to the highest standard so the Haitian people can benefit. That should be the mindset. The standard should not be a photocopy of people's character, Haitians' character. You can do, for example, you do a store. Let's do it so you do a business, right? You just do it to the American standard, but to the service of the Haitian people, the logo on the say "L'Union fait la force." Yeah? So, but yeah, but great. Vous pouvez faire bagay parmi haïtien pour après voyer bagay dans radio, bagay ou font bagay qui de classe. Ou connaît nèg pas le voyer bagay c'est là ça fait pas ou font bagay qui de classe. Ou ka mettre un petit Haitian American là si vous mélangez les on passe pour
Dites-moi pour vous mettre bon.
Nèg va passer on va agir c'est puis comment ça va utiliser magie blanc, va utiliser So, man, c'est terrible, man. Nous avons pile travail. Bon, c'est très bien, on a campé là pour assurer là. Parce que nous avons pile bagaille. Avant nous dire trop. Parce que c'était un plaisir pour nous venir là partager idées nous, li très bon. Ouais, parce qu'il y a plein de monde qui parle écouter nous après et il y a monde qui écouter nous qu'on est là nous saluer nous toutes. Si c'est haïtien, if you're Haitian, well, this is spécifiquement pour les haïtiens. Si c'est haïtien, nous saluer pas tout côté où trouver, ou êtes de bon courage. Connaît que ou gain jeune pas final net, mais n'a tourné en force. Nous avons pile gros monde de nous là, nous avons pile bail so nous penser haïtien nous toujours été quoi dans rêve haïtien, pas tout côté nous trouver nous. On nous font bail grand monde nous y. Songez ça nous y. Nous même c'est monde qui premier libre, nous pas agir comme monde qui des monde qui est en captivité. Bail haïtien pas ennemi haïtien. Si vous pensez haïtien ennemi ou dans captivité. Ou dans captivité. So, Steph, qui dernier mot pour partager avec le peuple là, as a Willis, qui dernier mot de conseil avant nous chavirer. Mm. 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 Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Parce que ça y est une conversation pour l'autre jour, c'est que nous avons pile potentialité mais là où gagne bail qui bon là car ou pas utiliser le bien. Si vous gagnez un bon castor ou bien un bon chaudière, ou pas utiliser là. Moun qui compte faire manger en grande quantité pour prendre la main. Parce que haïtien, nous avons bon bail dans main nous mais c'est l'autre moun cap jouer yo. C'est l'autre moun cap jouer yo. Yo pas pour communauté parce que nous pas une structure, nous pas formidable, nous pas une structure en place qui est capable de permettre moun nan venir venir là école là puis pour la l'aise pour faire ça pour le faire. So Eric, parle avec nous non. Comme dit, ça qui passe
Ah,
là.
mon cher, um, I think that there's a lot to consider. I think we spoke about a lot of things tonight. One of the things we spoke about is trusting one another in the community, and also the spirituality of the community. Making sure our community spiritually understand their goal spiritually. I think once we understand that, then it's easier for us to trust one another because we know that we can hold up each other based on understanding of our religious upbringing, our religious connotations. One of the things I think I would leave for everyone to try is make sure that you're not the person. Make sure you're not you're not the cause of the stigmas that's out there for Haitians.
Mhm.
You know, make sure if you're gonna go do a business, do it honorably. You know, do a good business.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
and if you're gonna do something to represent your people, make sure you do it correctly. You know, make sure you do it with pride. Make sure you do it with dignity and honor. Understanding that your action could be the start of a revolutionized thing that could change your whole nation. You know, imagine if the person that created Uber was Haitian. You know, that's a Haitian person with a billion dollar income right now at the disposal.
Mhm.
Just that alone could change. It
The
could change Haiti.
landscape,
You
the
know,
thought, the way people view
you know,
Haitian. Yeah.
just yeah, the person could sell that company for $7-8 billion and take that money and go change Haiti.
Mhm.
You know, I think there is potential. Even as I saw that recently, one of the Harvard, the head of Harvard is a young Haitian lady, Haitian American lady. She's the head of Harvard University right now. I think there's a lot of potential in our community to grow, to do great things, as you mentioned. I think sometimes we underestimate our potential. We underestimate each other's potential. I think if we can come together, I think we could be a force to reckon with in this country, in this community world that we serve at. I think I have a lot of hope in a sense, but sometimes I do lose hope sometimes, man, because sometimes I say the things that we do, man. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But like you said, man, I think sometimes it's good to stay positive. And one thing I would live with people, just make your nation proud, make your community proud,
Yeah.
and do everything with honor and dignity.
Whatever you can do, whatever your God gives you the power to do,
Mm-hmm.
whatever opportunity you have, just use it in a way to honor God and
Mm-hmm.
and it pleases your community. And
Yep.
yeah, it's powerful. It's powerful, Eric. Well, this is a time I know Steph had to. Well, no, it's no problem. We are going to. This is we are wrapping up here, so we're going to pray that everybody had a good time and learned something from our conversation tonight. I learned a lot from this conversation, so we're going to have more of these conversations, right? Bring in more, people that can, that's maybe some of the leaders. We need to come together and just pinpoint somebody who can be a key leader to come and give us
Mm-hmm.
some great perspective on this thing here. Maybe you never know. I don't know if the lady from Harvard, if she speaks Creole, and then this is a heavy-handed situations, or we are n'a jamais toujours nous vous comprenons
Yeah,
by ça.
I'll be hopeful.
Yeah, so that's a great thing, man. That's good to hear. Good to hear stuff like that. This is a very high profile, and as Haitians, I'm proud of that to hear things like that. Right? Let's have it with a prayer, and then we will wrap up for tonight. Let's pray together, dear Lord. Thank you so much, Father. Thank you for the privilege that you give us just to be a part of this great nation, this great community, Father. Our status today does not measure up to put our potential, Father, but you understand, Father, as long as we are breathing, there's hope, Lord. We pray, Father, that you give us the vision, give us the vision to maximize our potential and to focus on what we can do, not focus on what we miss or what we could have done, Father. Thank you tonight for this group, for Eric and Steph. We pray that you continue to lead us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you all for coming. It was a pleasure to have you all. Until we come together again, may God bless you all and have a wonderful week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.